This is the Southwest Outdoors Report, powered by your Texas Chevy dealers.
Hi everybody, and welcome into this week's episode. You know, the water surface temperatures are heating up in the last couple of weeks around our four-state region. And when the water gets hot, there is one fish species around our region that gets very consistent and, yes, even easy to catch. On this week's episode, we'll be showing you some tips and techniques on how to catch a big stringer, a fish basket full of white bass. The whole family can enjoy a white bass fishing trip. We'll show you how it's done on this week's episode. While I'm out there doing that, you go around the region for your very latest fishing reports from our team of reporters. I'll have your Lowrance Hot Lake of the Week, a brim fishing hotspot. Yes, we don't talk about brim enough on this show. We'll have your big catch of the week photo, a giant blue catfish this week, and much more between now and the end of the next half hour. I'm also going to mention a couple of features of my brand new Nitro Z8 bass boat. In my opinion, the very best bass boat that's ever been built, and I'll tell you why. So right now, this boat goes in the water, and you go back with Heather to the FSN studios for the Chevy Weekend Planner.
Checking out the Salinar tables, it appears the best fishing times this weekend will begin at 6 a.m. on Saturday and later in the day at 6:45 in the evening. Our days continue to get longer with the sun rising at 6:19 and setting at 8:38. Nights will feature a waxing moon, 56% visible. If you're looking for something fun to do this weekend, many of the best anglers in the world will be in our area at the Bassmaster Elite Sooner Run Tournament on the Arkansas River. The launch and weigh-in will take place at Three Forks Harbor in Muskogee. Have a great weekend. Now back to Barry.
Oh, there's one. There's just a start right there. Okay, well, we're out on the lake now. Got a white bass to start with, and I'll tell you the secrets of how to find and catch these fish in just a moment. But first, before we head out to this next break, that one goes back. I want to mention our new website. I haven't said enough about it lately because it's got a lot of new information on it, lots of fishing information. Just go to our new website at southwestouttdoorsreport.com. It's got fishing reports around the region. It's got my latest blog. Every week I put at least one blog up, sometimes more than that, about something going on around our region. Got the latest video. In fact, if you missed the show, you've got 3 chances to catch it: Thursday night, Saturday morning, and if you miss it both of those times, our show is always up the entire following week at our website. You can watch the entire episode every week, southwestouttdoorsreport.com. Check it out. Join the new members-only area. It's free. You'll get the very latest. Stay with us. When we come back, we're getting right into our fishing reports. Brian Hughes, Bill Olson are standing by in the state of Texas.
This is the Southwest Outdoors Report, powered by your Texas Chevy dealers.
There's one. All right, that'll get it going. What do we got? Oh, good white bass. Good white. Look at this one. That's a good start right there. Welcome back, everybody. Your Southwest Outdoors Report is on today. Talking about white bass fishing, just a kind of a medium-sized white right there. A lot of fun, good eating. We'll let that one go back. When you find one, a lot of times you'll find a whole bunch of them. Now, this time of the year, here's the deal. Early and late, they'll school on top. So you just drive around the lake and look for schooling fish, throw anything shiny into them, and you can catch them. And once they go to the bottom, you're gonna need a spoon. I need at least 1 ounce, hopping it about a foot off the bottom. We'll show you the technique in just a moment. Right now, here's Brian Hughes with your Texas Freshwater Fishing Reports.
Hi everybody, and welcome to this week's Lone Star Lakes Report, brought to you by Snag Proof Lures. Now, with over 10 fish better than 13 pounds turned into the Cheryl Unker program this year, Lake O.H. Ivy has earned a well-deserved reputation as a big bass lake. And those fish are still in the lake, they're just not up shallow like they were in the spring. You'll really need to watch your electronics, looking for grass beds isolated on points and in the mouths of creeks. Now you're going to throw drop shots, Carolina rigs, and deep diving crankbaits to key on these big fish, focusing on these submerged grass beds. Now another place your electronics are going to come into play are on Meredith and Texoma when you're fishing for smallmouths. Get up next to the walls, the ledges, the bluffs, and look for deep water outcroppings at about 20 feet deep. When you see these ledges down there, you should see smallies and or bait fish that'll give you an idea this is the place to start throwing. Again, deep diving crankbaits or hair jigs or even swim baits on jig heads ought to work for smallies on these two lakes. And finally, wrapping up some of our East Texas stuff where we've seen some flooding, fish up in the new brush with shallow water baits for bass on these East Texas lakes. That's this week's Lone Star Lakes, brought to you by Snag Proof Lures. Now let's check in with Mr. Bill Olson. He's on the coast.
Hi folks, this week's report is brought to you by Team TTF, producers of the Killer Baits and the new Stingmate Stingray Sting First Aid Kit and Jellyfish Sting Relief Gel. Don't go wade fishing without them. They're available at your favorite tackle retailer or the website on the screen. Summer doesn't officially arrive until Monday, June 21st. However, along the Texas coast, water temperatures and game fish patterns say it's already here. Water temperatures are in the mid to upper 80s and on the rise. Middle and lower coast reports indicate speckled trout are spending the pre-dawn hours on the flats feeding before dropping into the intercoastal, deeper holes, or burying up in the grass. On the upper coast, specks are quickly retreating from shallow shorelines and spending the majority of the day around mid-bay reefs. The more heat-tolerant redfish are currently schooling under the birds on Sabine Lake as well as on the flats between Port Aransas and Rockport. Yarborough as well as the meadows, areas around Baffin Bay, are also other good spots. South Bay out of Port Isabel is seeing increased snook activity as well as trout and redfish mixed in. This weekend, Saturday's a 3-tide day with 2 low tides and just 1 high. Sunday has a double tide schedule of 2 high and 2 low tides. I'm Bill Olson, and I'll see you on the coast.
There we go. I hooked one more. Oh, big old white bass. Look at the size of that dude. Wow. That's what I'm talking about right there. That's what you can do when you come out here and jig around with that spoon or that slab like I showed you earlier right on the bottom. All right, we let him go back. And I promised at the beginning that I would show you a couple of my most favorite things about the Nitro Z8 bass boat. Let me show you first of all that the rod boxes are arranged unbelievably well. It's got rod holders running all the way up in the bow. It's got a holder back there in the back for all the butts of the rods. It's got a light in it, a hydraulic latch, everything you would want in a rod box. Then right here, my tackle storage is unbelievable as well. You can see there it's got a place for all of my tackle boxes there, all my bags, everything, all in one large compartment. I can see it easily, get to it very easily. Then right here, I've got an ice chest to keep your ice cold and your drinks and your snacks all day long. And one of the coolest features right here next to it, got a trash can for all my wrappers and empty cans, old plastic worms, everything you would want right here at your fingertips. Everything well laid out, well organized. The Nitro Z8. See it at nitroboats.com. Let's take a quick break for a word from our sponsors. Much more in the way of fishing reports from around our 4-state region right after this.
The Southwest Outdoors Report, powered by your Texas Chevy dealers, is brought to you by Nitro Performance Bass Boats. Fish your best in a Nitro. By Stren, the standard of dependability. By Costa Sunglasses, see what's out there. And by Motor Guide, never stop.